And we are back from our first segment break. So that means it's time for segment 3. Not that that makes sense, but there's only one thing here that can happen, and that's Gunner. He's going to hit my sound.
Oh, France! Same difference!
I hate this. Just play the sound, Gunner.
And I quote, 10 tons of steel. Oh, you were not aware of this? Your posterior better contact someone at once!
I always miss the button. I'm sorry, Yankum. I mean, these buttons are really confusing.
I'm sure they are. This is why we're going to replace you with some capuchin monkeys.
Fuck you, we're right!
Also, because I want to be able to say monkeys in the truck.
Fuck bullshit!
So here we go with segment 3. We're going to play a game called... Gunner is a douchebag. Actually, the game's called What's the Story? I'm going to read a headline, and Omega BR and Gunner, because nobody else saw fit to join us tonight. Yes, Gunner is indeed a bitch. They're going to try and make up a plausible story for the headline that isn't the actual one, and I will be deducting points for being too close to the actual story. So, Omega BR, the first headline here, AJ Lee addresses confrontation with Stephanie McMahon.
Well, let's see. She probably took to Twitter to explain that Stephanie McMahon was defending her secret crush, Jerry Lawler, for AJ verbally destroying him on commentary so many times.
Alright, that was minus 1 point to Omega BR because he did get a little too close with the Twitter thing. That actually did happen. Gunner, why don't you give us a plausible story?
AJ Lee confronted excuse me. AJ Lee addressed her confrontation with Stephanie McMahon this week as to say that she has halitosis, which is, as many of you might know, bad breath. Halitosis affects millions a year. If you or a loved one are affected by halitosis, please visit your dentist. This is with a new partnership with the ADA, or the American Dentistry Association, and in light to get kids to go to the dentist, along with their reading program and Make-A-Wish Foundation links. This is more of a push of WWE PG.
I'll give you a few points for that. Let's see here. Omega BR, original Midnight Express member, needs your help.
Well, surely, if there's one medium that's dying, it's the trains, and this original Midnight Express member needs you to support your local locomotive initiative so that his tag team name remains relevant.
Okay. Gunner.
Original Midnight Express. One of the original Midnight Express members needs your help because they have recently been incarcerated falsely. Because they were at a wrestling convention with one and only Sunny, as Sunny was running her get into bed and take pictures with me booth. Unknowingly realizing that this was actually a gimmick table, the one particular Midnight Express member had fallen into the bed and fallen asleep because he is a narcoleptic. When he awoken to a few moments later in the back of a cop car, handcuffed and being read his Miranda rights, he didn't know what was going on. Sonny had been pressing sexual harassment charges on the man, and now he is stuck in jail because he cannot pay for himself. So he needs your money to help him get out of jail and defeat Sonny from making up shit again.
I have to deduct a few points from that because you mentioned Sonny, and now we and everyone who listened to this podcast has gonorrhea. Omega BR, inside joke backstage at WWE.
That sounds like if you are backstage at WWE, inside backstage, then it is a joke.
That was a bit of a stretch, but I'm going to give it to you. Gunner.
Inside joke backstage at WWE. For weeks now, 3NB have been coming into the show and reaching their locker rooms, only to find inflatable air guitars sitting in their lockers. As you all know, Jinder Mahal is the king of the sitar and not the guitar. The fact is that this is all a racist joke from what's his face, frickin' Red Rooster.
Michael P.S. Hayes.
No, it's not P.S. Hayes. It's Red Rooster. Not Terry Taylor. That's not his name. God damn it.
Nope, you're floundering.
I'm just trying to remember the name here. Zeb Coulter. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's all from Zeb Coulter, and eventually it'll turn into a gimmick where Jinder Mahal will become the new Jeff Jarrett by smashing a guitar over what's his face's head, Zeb Coulter's head. There you go.
No points for Gunner.
I had nothing.
Omega BR report. Another Hogan and Bischoff TNA idea fails.
Well, as it turns out, Hogan and Bischoff thought that they were going to do the right thing, they were going to do the honest thing, and leave TNA at their own power, say thank you very much, leave without pay, and it would improve the company for the better. But once again, these two hacks had it wrong, because Dixie Carter refused, and they're still in TNA. They're still just mucking things up, and these guys just can't catch a break.
Gunner.
Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan have teamed up with Good Humor to produce TNA ice cream bars. On these ice cream bars are the immortal Hulk Hogan, AJ Styles, and Dixie Carter. However, they are slated for release in the first quarter of 2014. Little did they realize that the first quarter of 2014 is in the winter. And you know how well ice cream fares in the winter.
Okay. Well played.
I imagine that Dixie one tastes like white diamonds.
I imagine the Hulk Hogan ones taste like old gym socks.
No, the Hulk Hogan one is all wrinkled and has cortisone shots in it.
Alright, final one here. A major protest set for last night's Raw? Omega BR.
A major protest over the fact that CM Punk gets 2 new t-shirts just because he returned to Chicago. The Miz, in particular, wants, because they were in Cleveland last week, he wants 2 new t-shirts. One that says, something about haters, and another one that says something about I main evented WrestleMania, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
That is all he's got.
And Gunner.
There was actually a protest set up for last night's Raw before the show outside of the venue, and it was going to be the local independent wrestlers and the local independent referees supporting the cause of the referee of Scott Armstrong. The severance package, quote unquote, by Triple H last week was actually revoked, and that storyline was not kayfabe. That was actually a shoot that you saw. So basically, what happened was that Scott Armstrong was written off television and given a very large severance package. However, this week on Twitter, Scott has said that at Hardy Body Raf, his severance package has not arrived in the mail yet. No word on Sin Cara. Also, in the news, Sin Cara has been hired to the WWE payroll facility. More on this at 11.
Okay, tallying up the points here. Carry the 2, minus 5, subtract square root of pi. Omega BR wins. And Gunner is a loser yet again. Maybe you should just play my goddamn sound when I ask you to. Speaking of goddamn, that can only lead us to one thing. It's that awful place to go through.
Drive-through.
Time for the Dairy Queen drive-thru, and I will read the ratings this week. Impact, Thursday, September 19th, taped edition of TNA Impact Wrestling on Spike TV. Drew a final cable rating of 1.04, 1.0 according to the Nielsen Media. SmackDown, the SmackDown 920 SmackDown on Sci-Fi did a final 1.9319 cable rating with 2.6 million viewers. This number is down from last week's show that did 1.96 and 2.23. Raw. I don't have the numbers for Raw. However, the 9/23 WWE Raw drew an average viewership of 3.74 million viewers. First hour drew 3.6, the second hour drew 3.8, and the third hour drew 3.82. This is down from last week's show that did 4.01. The show did a 1.3 rating and among the 18 to 49 demographic, down last week from 1.4. The show never lost viewers, so that is a good sign. By comparison, the Denver Broncos versus Oakland Raiders game on ESPN did a 13.918 million viewers, and it'll probably be in the viewership. It'll be probably about a 2.7 or 2.8. And with the birthdays, Yingam DDS. Paging Yankum DDS. Yankum?
His light's on, but I can't hear him.
Oh, I see what happened there. Yankum actually muted his sound. Maybe if he'd actually let me win a game once, he wouldn't fuck up so bad. Karma's a bitch, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had turned off the speakers so that I didn't have to hear the sound of your voice anymore. Apparently, I was mistaken. So here we go with the birthdays. As always, there may or may not be people who are no longer with us in the list. If we say one of these people's names, just tweet it to us or email it to us or post it in the thread on Woo and let us know. Eventually, we will probably do prizes with this at some point. Probably something from the Turnbuckle Tees or something. Or Barbershop Window. We'll see what happens. So here's the birthdays. On the 25th, we have Jimmy Garvin and Aja Kong. Aja Kong? I don't know.
Aja Kong, I think.
Aja. And on the 26th, 26th, we have Naomichi Marufuji. On the 27th, there are no birthdays. The 28th, we have Steve Blackman and Atlantis. On the 29th, Bino Gambino, Togi Makabe, Haywood Yadumi. I hate you. I know that's not real. David Sammartino, Yoshihiro Tajiri. On the 30th,
are you going to say that one's not real too? Haywood Yadome is the freaking Joshi. You asshole.
I don't believe you. Adam Pac-Man Jones, Candice Michelle, and Chris Van Erich on the 30th. And on October 1st, Rico, Robbie, Hector Guerrero, and Devon Moore, and Curtis Axel. And that is it for the birthdays.
And now it is time for This Week in Wrestling with Omega BR.
Yes, this weekend, wrestling history, circa 1953, where the legendary Blue Demon scores what is arguably the biggest win of his career, defeating the most popular wrestler in the history of Mexico, his arch-rival El Santo, in 2 straight falls at the CMLL 20th anniversary show in Mexico. Jump to 1992, where New Japan Pro Wrestling abandons the WWF Martial Arts Heavyweight title. The Great Muta would be the final champion, having beaten Riki Chozu for the belt on August 16, 1992 in Fukuoka, Japan. The belt was mostly a plaything for Antonio Inoki in the 70s and 80s, when he would wrestle in the US, and it often went years without being defended or even referred to. And in 2002, the top 2 titles in Pro Wrestling Noah changed hands at their show at legendary Budokan Hall in Tokyo, Japan. Jun Akiyama and Akiroshi Saito defeated Takeshi Rikio and Takeshi Morishima for the Global Honored Crown Tag Team title, and Mitsuhara Misawa defeated Yoshihiro Takayama to win the Global Honored Crown Heavyweight title. And that was this week in wrestling history.
I just googled that and you're a liar, Gunner.
When you have to Google it, you know I'm lying. Happy trails to Yankum's sense of me lying or not, because Yankum cannot tell the difference. Hashtag gullible. I already said Christina Vargas was released, so I'm mad about that, but also happy trails to BJ Whittemore, who announced his retirement from wrestling at Death Before Dishonor due to his many neck injuries, including those caused by the pile driver on the ring apron he suffered at All-Star Extravaganza. So, ladies and gentlemen.
You missed the Happy Trails, Gunner.
Where's the other one? Where's the sunny one? Damn it.
Oh, I've got it right here. Happy trails to Tammy Sunny Sitch. Once again, in our news. Apparently, she has been posting statuses on her Facebook page that were not true, and then giggling when the dirt sheets would post them on their sites. Things such as her being mugged was not true. Neither was her being approved to adopt a child from Cambodia. Her Facebook was not hacked or anything. It was just a game to Sitch, who, despite making the posts herself, slammed people for, quote, not checking the facts. Here's the thing, Sonny. When you post things on your personal Facebook, then people will take them at face value that you mean it.
Here's the thing, Yankum, and to play devil's advocate here, and I can't believe that I'm doing this, her point was that the idiot writers on these goddamn on these goddamn dirt sheet sites are sitting there and they're typing every little status that Sunny does and every little status that, you know, that she puts up there and taking it as fact without actually doing the research. I can respect the point that she actually made, because if you had done the research and it had come out that she wasn't doing those things before she said something, then she would look like an ass and you would have something to say. However, since none of us did the legwork to be able to actually say, hey, you know, Sunny sitting there actually, you know, working us all, then, you know what, Yankum, why don't you shut the hell up?
Well, here's the thing, Gunnar. It would be one thing if Sunny didn't actively seek the attention of these so-called writers, posting these ridiculous things specifically for attention. It's the equivalent of me telling you that I have a blue car and then laughing at you when you believe me, because, in fact, I don't even have a car. So there.
And also, why should the dirt sheets be expected to file a Freedom of Information Act for every single Facebook post that Sunny makes? Shouldn't, I mean, if another female wrestler had posted, hey, I'm expecting a child, and the dirt sheets ran with that, and then she was like, hey, guess what? Just kidding, haha, dirt sheets, you guys are tardos. We'd be like, are you? But I don't think this is cool. I mean, I see what she's saying, but at the same time, she's kind of a bitch. Even Jim Cornette says that she's a cunt, but he loves her, and I could see that.
Alright, so what should we watch this week in wrestling? Yankum.
Fuck, I don't know. You know what? Just because of you. No, I'm not going to do that. That's mean. How about, let's see. When did I see that Coast to Coast? It wasn't on Raw. It wasn't on that pay-per-view. When was that? Anyways, just watch that friggin' tag team main event from Raw last night. How about that? There were some things that were good about it, as well as some things that were kind of dumb.
Omega, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
I think you should watch a match from FMW. It's actually the Bathhouse Death Match. It was between Tarzan Goto and Mr. Ganosuke versus the Headhunters. And that match is on YouTube, and there's everything you could want in a match. There's water, there's naked ladies, there's comedy, there's hard-hitting action.
And I'm going to suggest Terrorizing versus Brian Armstrong from WCW.
Why?
Because if you can't see the value in it, I got 2 words for you. So that's it for this week in wrestling. And that's it for this show. Thanks everybody for listening. I appreciate it, absolutely, and you can go check us out again and all of our other shows and a few of our affiliates over there at smarksnark.com. That leads directly to our Spreaker page, which also has our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/smarksnark, and that has a bunch of our stuff on there, podcasts, etc. Hopefully, at some point or another, I might actually get the motivation to do another Family Feud at some point or another. Hopefully that'll happen soon. Hopefully. But beyond that, I have an announcement to make to all our Woo Get Serious fans. Ladies and gentlemen, as a spoiler alert, and this is a exclusive, and I probably haven't even cleared it with the management yet, but I'm going to tell you guys, because I'm cool like that. Yours truly has been has been brought in on the Woo is War project to be the ring announcer. So what that means is that I will be the ring announcer to that particular EFED, and we will have particular members from that EFED on the show at some point or another on a 15-minute time limit, and we will be talking to them and interviewing them about Woo is War and whatnot. So if you want to check that out, please pay attention to Woo. And I guarantee you that the first episode will be up very, very shortly. I'm excited to hear about it, and this is gonna be a whole lot of fun. So if you guys are gonna pay attention, please pay attention to Woo is War and check out our show and whatnot, and blah 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 blah. So, the two other things before Yankum yells at me, Facebook.com/SmarkSnark and Twitter.com/SmarkSnark are where you can find us on social media. If you would like to yell at us for something that we've done that's really stupid, SmarkSnark@gmail.com will get directly to Yankum's face. So, with that being said, do you guys have anything else to plug, anything else to push?
Nope.
Don't forget ISW this November.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. And, okay, so we're going to go out on a song called Ode to Cobra from Shining Guisado, ShiningGuisado.com, and,
Bandcamp.
or Bandcamp, not ShiningGuisado.com, excuse me, ShiningGuisado.bandcamp.com, that's what I meant. And, we will probably catch you next time. Man, I really can't think of the last statement for this, but you know what? The end of the show is good for business.
Good night, Danbury.
Hey, get the fuck back. Get the fuck back. I'm going to kill you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cobra T. Washington, he is a guy. He gives me money because he is no fool. Because he is no fool. So I wrote you a song because you are cool and you make me videos. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy. One time he took Sin Cara and put him in Spider-Man. It was the best thing ever, and now he is cool. And now he is cool. One time he wore a mask and imitated sad pictures, and everyone laughed. He filled us with joy. He filled us with joy. Last verse. I know your real name because you are on Facebook. I'm going to use it against you and have sex with your mom. And have sex with your mom. Just kidding. No, I'm not. Fuck you, dog. Fuck you.